In the serene and tranquil village of Umuago, surrounded by rolling hills and dense palm forests, life was simple but rich with tradition. The village bustled with activity during the day as farmers tended to their yam fields and women fetched water in clay pots. Their colorful Ankara red velvet Ishiago wrappers swaying as they walked. Children laughed and played in the open square, while elders sat under the great Iroko tree, telling stories of their ancestors. Among the villagers was a young girl named Ifunanya, known for her kind heart and radiant smile. Ifunanya had a loving family. Her father, Obinna, was a respected palm wine tapper, and her mother, Chinenye, was skilled in weaving intricate patterns into traditional aquacha fabric. They lived in a modest mud-walled hut adorned with carvings and woven mats. For Ifunanya, her world revolved around her parents. Their laughter and the lessons they taught her about honesty, hard work, and resilience. But tragedy struck one fateful rainy season. A mysterious illness swept through Umuagu, claiming many lives, including Ifunanya's parents. They tried to get the village native doctor to get them cured, but all efforts were unsuccessful. They passed. In the days after their burial, Ifunanya found herself utterly alone. Orphans in the village were often cared for by extended family, but for reasons unknown, no one stepped forward for her. Instead, whispers began to spread. She must be cursed, some villagers murmured, their voices laced with fear and superstition. Why else would the gods take both her parents? Ifunanya tried to ignore the cold stares and harsh words, but it wasn't long before the elders summoned her to the square. Dressed in their red caps and traditional Ishiagu tunics, they sat on wooden stools, their faces green. The oldest elder, Ozuemina, stood and declared, "You have brought misfortune upon this village. We cannot risk keeping you here. Leave before more harm befalls us." The verdict crushed her spirits. With only a small bundle containing her mother's wooden carving and a faded Ankara wrap, Ifunanya walked out of Umuagu. She turned back once, hoping someone would call her name, but all she saw were indifferent faces. The forest beyond the village was vast and intimidating. As night fell, the calls of nocturnal animals echoed through the trees. Exhausted and hungry, Ifunanya collapsed under a large Iroko tree, tears streaming down her face. She clutched her mother's carving tightly, whispering, "I promise I will make you proud. I won't let them destroy me." Her journey led her to a mysterious old woman named Nneoma, who lived in a secluded hut deep in the forest. Nneoma wore a faded Ankara headscarf, her grey hair peeking out beneath it. Despite her frailty, she had a commanding presence. When she found Ifunanya shivering by her doorstep, she took her in without question. "You are not cursed, my child," Nneoma said one evening as they sat by the fire. "The people of Umuagu are blinded by fear. But you must find your strength. This world does not favor the weak." Over the months, Nneoma taught Ifunanya survival skills, how to forage for food, make herbal medicines, and defend herself with a simple staff. She also shared stories of her own struggles, teaching Ifunanya that resilience who turned pain into power. One day, Norma handed Ifunanya a glowing bead bracelet. This bracelet holds the wisdom of our ancestors. When you face a choice, it will guide you. With her newfound strength, Ifunanya decided to return to Umagu, not as the timid girl who had been cast out, but as somebody ready to uncover the truth. Disguised as a trader, Ifunanya entered the bustling village market. She wore a simple Ankara dress and a wide-brimmed straw hat that shadowed her face. The market was alive with the sounds of bargaining, the aroma of roasted yams, and the sight of traders displaying their goods, beaded jewelry, woven baskets, and dried fish. As Ifunanya mingled, she listened carefully. She overheard traders and farmers whispering about how the elders had been unfairly seizing land and blaming the gods for their misdeeds. She learned that her family's exile had been part of a larger plot to silence dissent. Determined to find proof, Ifunanya befriended Amaka, a widow who had also suffered under the elders' rule. Amaka revealed that the chief kept a ledger documenting all the illegal grabs and false accusations. The ledger, she said, was hidden in the chief's compound, a grand hut with carved wooden doors and guards patrolling its perimeter. Ifunanya devised a plan with the help of Amaka and Chike, a young farmer disillusioned by the elders. Dressed as a seamstress, Ifunanya gained access to the chief's household by offering to repair his wife's coral beaded head wrap. The chief's wife, impressed by her skill, invited her to stay overnight to sew other garments. Late that night, while the household slept, Ifunanya slipped into the chief's chambers. The room was lavishly decorated with bronze sculptures, cowrie-adorned mats, and a carved leopard statue. Beneath the statue, she found the ledger. Just as she tucked it into her bundle, a guard entered. Thinking quickly, Ifunanya knocked over a clay pot, creating enough noise to wake the household. In the ensuing chaos, she escaped through the compound's back gate, disappearing into the night. The Yam Festival was the perfect opportunity to expose the elders. The entire village gathered in the square, dressed in their finest Ankara and Ishiagu. Drummers played energetic rhythms as dancers leaped and spun. As the festival reached its peak, Ifunanya stepped forward, holding the ledger high. "My people," she began, her voice clear and steady. "I was cast out because of lies, but today I bring you the truth." The crowd fell silent as she read from the ledger, detailing the elders' corruption. The villagers, initially skeptical, began to murmur in anger as the evidence mounted. Finally, they demanded justice. The chief and his allies were stripped of their positions and banished from the village. In their place, a new council was formed, one that included women like Amaka and young leaders like Chike. With her parents' name cleared and her vow fulfilled, Ifunanya was invited to lead the new council. She humbly accepted, vowing to ensure fairness and unity in Umuagu. The village thrived under her guidance. The shrine to the ancestors was restored, and Ifunanya placed her mother's carving on the altar, a symbol of resilience and reconciliation. Years later, Ifunanya's story became a legend told under the stars to remind the people of Umuagu that courage and truth could overcome even the greatest injustice.